The first question that I would ask you to put some thought into is I want you to think about the police that operate out of your neighborhood.
In 2024, there's a lot of universal buzz around police forces. There will be a lot of confusion and mixed tactics in the police force. What do I mean by this? What I mean is that police forces will be adopting technologies and programs and strategies that are in alignment with the idea that they are protectors of the peace and that they are there for the people and on the side of the people, while at the very same time, they will continue to militarize in alignment with the idea that they exist to protect the powers that be against the people.
But we got the guys to blow your brains out, so you better watch out!
From local interactions between police officers and civilians to more global terrorist attacks, especially in Europe, the contradictory nature of the police force will be showcased and on full display, and it's important to recognize that split that exists in that specific field. At the same time as this, you're actually going to see even more of a split in the police force regarding the use of AI in predicting and preventing crime. This could lead to full-blown controversy, quite frankly, regarding using AI to identify crime patterns, including locations and people who are likely to commit a crime.
How do you think they feel knowing that it is their willingness to follow orders and protect the ruling class that is actually bringing about the downfall of human civilization?
Once the bad guys have control of the apparatus of the state, you almost can't get rid of them. Once they control, the police and the army who all do what they're told, and the bureaucracies who do what they're told, you can't get rid of them. But now that they're in power and they're cementing themselves in power, how do you get rid of them?
We need a new movement. Again, people call it a Democratic and Republican Party. It's a crime syndicate.
Yeah, it is.
In a time when our so-called leaders are being controlled by the world's most evil, greedy, and psychopathic individuals, everyone needs to understand what do your rights consist of? It's a much more simple thing than most people think. You have the right to do everything that doesn't cause harm or loss to another person. We have so many rights that they can't actually be listed. They're infinite. It's like I have the right to go and buy a pair of boots. You have the right to do whatever you want. You even have the right to buy and sell narcotics. That is actually our right. It's called a right because right behaviour doesn't cause harm or loss to anybody else. Knowing your rights comes about by knowing right from wrong behaviour. The criminalisation of substances is just the most blatant claim of ownership over our bodies. Nobody profits from drugs and the so-called war on drugs more than the criminals that are in control right now. That's the key to the prison for profit industry. All the suffering related to the high price of drugs is what causes all the poverty and the crime, and all this unnecessary misery is a product of people not understanding that they are the ones who have the right to choose what goes into their own body, the body that we own. It's our decision. Nobody has the right to tell us what goes in our body. Nobody has the right to stop you from engaging in civilized, voluntary commerce. It's only this rotten system of maritime law, this military control structure that they've tricked us into cooperating with, that they can take away all our rights and tell us all these things we can and can't do because we've been tricked into cooperating with a rotten system. So understanding what your rights are is really a question of understanding right from wrong. How do you define right from wrong? A lot of people don't know how to do that. Well, all wrongdoings can fit within these 7 categories: murder, rape, assault, trespass, coercion, theft, and deception. They're the 7 deadly sins. They're the real sins. This greed and gluttony and all this, that they're not sins. The real evil of this world will always fit into those 7 categories.